Air Chief Marshal Sir Arthur Harris, a veteran aviator, took command of Bomber Command in February 1942. His leadership had a profound impact on the command's strategy and operations. No hobbies, never read a book, didn't like music, lived for his job. That is a short summary of the character of this top military figure, who remains controversial to this day. Harris was a kind of anti-Englishman. He totally lacked the proverbial British politeness, being coarse and sometimes even insulting. Broadly nicknamed Bomber Harris, some within the RAF at the time called him simply Butcher Harris. Bomber Command's primary mission was to conduct strategic bombing raids against Axis targets, particularly those in Germany. Along with U.S. bombers based in Britain, the two forces worked together to bring the war direct to Germany. This involved targeting industrial centers, transportation networks, and cities. Bomber Command operated a variety of bomber aircraft during the war, including the Avro Lancaster, Handley Page Halifax, Short Sterling, and later, the de Havilland Mosquito. In the early years of the war, Bomber Command faced challenges. The effectiveness of its missions was limited by inadequate technology, tactics, and training. Under Harris's leadership, Bomber Command adopted a policy of area bombing. This strategy involved targeting entire cities and industrial areas to disrupt Germany's war production and morale. Bomber Command primarily conducted night bombing raids. The cover of darkness provided some protection against enemy fighter aircraft, which were less effective at night. Technological advancements, such as the H-2S radar system and the oboe navigation system, improved the accuracy of bombing runs. These innovations allowed for more precise targeting. To enhance accuracy further, the Pathfinder Force was established within Bomber Command. Pathfinder crews used target marking techniques, including dropping flares and markers, to guide the main bomber force to their targets. During the Blitz 1940–1941, when Germany bombed British cities, Bomber Command carried out retaliatory night raids on German cities as part of its early offensive operations. The area bombing strategy adopted by Bomber Command was a subject of controversy during and after the war. Critics questioned the morality and effectiveness of targeting civilian populations. Bomber Command suffered significant casualties throughout the war. High losses among aircrew members were a poignant aspect of their service, earning them the moniker, the Few, akin to fighter commands, the Few. One of Bomber Command's most famous operations was the Dambusters Raid, in May 1943. Using specially designed bouncing bombs, Lancasters of 617 Squadron breached several dams in the Ruhr Valley, disrupting German industry and flooding the region. Bomber Command played a central role in the Allied Combined Bomber Offensive, working in cooperation with the United States Army Air Forces and other Allied air forces. The goal was to weaken Germany's industrial capacity. In addition to conventional bombs, Bomber Command used incendiary bombs to start fires in targeted areas. Firebombing was particularly devastating in urban environments. The bombing of Hamburg in July 1943 created a massive firestorm that caused extensive destruction and civilian casualties. It demonstrated the destructive potential of Bomber Command's raids. The bombing of Dresden, which took place between February 13 and 15, 1945, during World War II, remains one of the most controversial and devastating aerial attacks of the war. British and American Allied forces carried out a series of bombing raids on the historic city of Dresden, located in eastern Germany. The attack, which included both conventional and incendiary bombs, resulted in a catastrophic firestorm that engulfed the city, causing immense destruction and civilian casualties. Estimates of the death toll vary widely, but it is believed that tens of thousands of people, including civilians, refugees, and prisoners of war, lost their lives in the bombing. The destruction of Dresden's historic architecture, cultural heritage, and the sheer scale of the civilian suffering fueled post-war debates about the morality and necessity of such a devastating attack on a city that was not a major military or industrial target at that stage of the war. The justification for bombing Dresden was that it was a major railway hub. Dresden was a junction for roads and train lines running both east to west and north to south. It was also home to more than 120 weapons factories. It was always on the Allies' target list. The Dresden bombing continues to be a subject of historical inquiry and debate, highlighting the complexities and moral dilemmas inherent in the conduct of total war. Bomber Command closely coordinated its operations with other Allied air forces, such as the U.S. 8th Air Force and the Royal Canadian Air Force. Joint efforts were essential for the success of the combined bomber offensive. After the war, the effectiveness and ethics of Bomber Command's area bombing strategy were subjects of intense debate. Some argued that the bombing campaign hastened the end of the war, while others questioned the morality of targeting civilians. The legacy of Bomber Command remains a topic of historical discussion. The command's role in the war continues to be analyzed, with both critics and defenders of its tactics and strategies. The Bomber Command Memorial, unveiled in London's Green Park in 2012, honors the memory of the tens of thousands of Bomber Command personnel who lost their lives during World War II. It serves as a lasting tribute to their sacrifices and contributions to the war effort.